I haven't done a vlog in a while, so I thought I would bring you along today. Today I am mostly going to be working on the pattern generator. A while ago you might remember I did a video called I wrote my dissertation on friendship bracelets, in which I explained that I basically coded a pattern generator, and I'm yet to finish that. I need to make some final changes to be able to integrate it onto bracelet book, so I thought I would walk you through that. So my desk is always a mess of string and tape and stuff everywhere. We've also got a bracelet here that I'm working on that I'll talk about in a little bit, but the most important part right now is the pattern generator. So I've got the actual generator itself on the left here. This is what it currently looks like. You can click it in different places to switch the knot types, and then the entire pattern regenerates. You can click the strings in whatever place you want to change the color of the string. Somehow that changed the wrong color. I need to fix that. There you go, that's how you find bugs. And then you can also add rows, remove rows, add strings, remove strings. So there's a few things that I need to get done before the generator is able to go live. First of all, fix that bug that I just found. I had no idea that happened. But also, I am currently only able to add and remove strings by 2. I need to be able to do it by 1 because that's what the current generator supports. And I need all of the functionalities of the current generator to be able to be supported. And yeah, this is what the code currently looks like. Just the beginning of the code. How many lines of code are there at the moment? Genuinely curious. 451 lines of code. That's lovely. And yeah, I wrote all of this myself with a lot of help from the admin. He helped me a lot figuring out in different areas what I need to do and fixing my mistakes, but most of the code, yeah, I basically wrote myself. And right now, I am going through it and trying to figure out what it even does, because I haven't touched this piece of code in quite a while. So I'm literally going through it right now and just making comments. So comments are things that are separated by these two lines, so the computer doesn't read it, but the person that is working on the code can read it. So for example, this piece of code, I commented and said, this is the array containing the pattern structure. This is the pattern that first shows on the screen, and it can be changed. So this array, you can see there's a forward, forward, backward, backward, forward, 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 backward, backward, forward, forward, forward. That's basically the structure of the pattern that first appears on the screen. So if we change these, for example, to just be forward knots and then save and reload this, you can see that all of these are now forward knots. So yeah, basically at the moment I'm just going through the code and trying to figure out what it does. Since this is a collaborative project, there's a lot of talking between me and the admin going on, and mostly it's just like us trying to figure out the logic of the code. And so here he's trying to explain to me that some variables should be stored globally, some should be stored publicly, and I'm just very confused. This is usually how it goes. I just sent him the file for him to look at and tell me if I've forgotten something. I don't know. This is basically what the entire development looked like. Us sending files back and forth and trying to figure out which each of us is thinking about. Yeah, talking to computers is weird, and trying to explain your computer thoughts to other people is also very strange. So I've gone over most of the code and I've added comments to try and figure out what it does, and I think I remember everything now. So I'm now working on creating a function that adds 1 string, because at the moment we have a function up here that adds strings, but it only adds strings by 2, which is good, but we also need a function that adds strings by 1 to be able to support everything that the current generator already supports. So I'm going to work on that. I think I have some logic down. Basically, I'm thinking that if you add 1 string, instead of adding knots to each of the rows, you just need to add knots to every other row, and then add a random color. Instead of adding 2 random colors per knot, only add 1 random color, since we are only adding 1 string. Also, we need to change this to not be random colors at the end, but that's a problem for future Masha. For now, I'm gonna try and figure out the adding 1 string function. Let's go! And I broke it. I broke it. Look what happens when I reload. It disappears. It disappears. And then if I comment out the function that I just wrote, it comes back. So it's definitely something in my function. Fun, 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 fun. I love it when I write something that breaks all my code. And it's always something really dumb. Like in this case, I wrote else if instead of just else. And that's what was causing my issues, I think. Let's reload. Yes, it's back. The function still doesn't work, but at least I'm not breaking the code anymore. Alright, so I've done the code that actually adds strings by one with the help of the admin who helped me make it look a little bit nicer because I, for example, had no idea this was even a thing. I wrote this sentence in like 3 separate lines and he just made it really compact. But this doesn't work. And I added a button here that's add one string, but if you click it, nothing happens because the generator doesn't actually know how to draw a new pattern with one string because everything that it's been working with previously always had an even amount of strings, so it doesn't know how to actually properly draw it. So now I have to rewrite the generate pattern function in its entirety, which is gonna be fun. Let's get on that. It is now the evening. I'm still working on this code. I have 2 copies of it because sometimes I need to copy portions of the code from one bit to the other bit so I don't have to scroll multiple times. I just leave one copy of the code on one side and then I type on the other one. It's actually much harder than I expected it to be. I'm basically rewriting everything to be able to handle one string input, and it's much harder than I thought it would be because my first hurdle was trying to assign the string IDs because the string ID gets assigned from the not. I don't know if anybody's interested in this, but anyway, I fixed that, I think, and I'm now trying to figure out other areas in the code that I need to change to be able to support one string, and it's messy. Anyway, I think I'm gonna call it a day because it's 8:30 p.m. Let's chill for a little bit and restart this tomorrow. Also, this is my first ever Yankee candle. I've got the blackberry fragrance. Oh, look how pretty. I love it so much. I heard that you're supposed to always let it burn until the sides, so that's what I'm trying to get done here today. It smells amazing. Alright, it's a brand new day. Still got the code up working. The generator's up there. We've got some diagrams down here helping me understand and remember what I'm doing. Currently working on getting the strings to add by one, and so I drew a little diagram of what that should look like. Some diagrams of understanding the arrays, and then I'm trying to visualize here of how the not array works, which is an array of an array of an array. It's a lot. We got that beautiful Yankee candle out here. I managed to burn all of it basically to the sides yesterday, but there's still a little bit of residue of wax. But oh my god, I love it so much. I also finished this book yesterday. After I finished coding, I went in with some reading to just chill out. And I don't remember why I even started reading it. I think someone recommended it to me. But it seems like everyone likes this book. I didn't. I really didn't. So I might actually film a book review for my second channel if you guys want me to. It seemed like you guys enjoyed my review of The Sun Is Also a Star, which was also negative, unfortunately. So let me know if you want to hear a review of this one. I want to show you the progress that we have on the generator because we have some progress. The admin helped me out and we do have some progress, so let me just reload this. So we have the add one string button, right? Which if you click it, doesn't do anything, but if you click it again, it adds 2 strings. So at least we know that the logic works. So it is actually adding the string, but the reason it's not adding a string by one is because the generator doesn't know how to actually draw the pattern with one string yet. So I need to be able to code that in, but the logic works. So that's a good start. It's been 10 hours of me just working on this, and it now freezes entirely. I somehow messed up. I made an infinite loop somewhere, so basically a loop that has no way of finishing, and because of that the entire page freezes because it can't get out of that loop. And I can't figure out which loop it is and why. So now the admin of Bracelet Book is trying to help me figure out why, and I'm waiting for his response very patiently. I'm actually quite enjoying it, but I am tired, to be fair. I need to call it a day soon. So let me walk you through our dialogue just now. So he says, I got it. He says line 404, I'm like, is it actually? He's like, yes. Because I think it's funny because it's like error 404. He says, look at the line, I think it's even funny. I'm like, wait, I can't see it, can you send it? This is my reaction to that. And basically, for those of you who don't understand code, instead of writing I equals 0, I should have written I equals 0. And that, just that lack of an extra equals broke my entire code. So I feel great. Now it crashes at line 406. Oh my god. Some work needs to be done. Okay, so it's a new day. It is Monday the 27th. I just came out the shower, which is why my hair is still wet. I still need to work on the code, but the admin is off at work today, and he usually helps me quite a lot with figuring out like my errors and stuff. Plus I need to release a video today, so I'm gonna be focusing on that first. I haven't posted a challenge video in forever and people are asking me for it. And I also need to film my wrap-up video for the month because it's the 27th. So hopefully I get that done during the time that the admin is at work, so that when he is off work and has some time to work on the generator with me, we can actually solve the issues together and figure out what is wrong and what is making the generator look like that. So that's the plan for today. We've got stuff to do. I'm gonna go put on some makeup and film 2 videos hopefully, the challenge and the wrap up at the same time. I also started reading A Beautifully Foolish Endeavour by Hank Green, which is the sequel to An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by him. And I have the signed edition, which I'm very excited about. Funnily enough, the signature is actually different than the one in here. We've got like this more official signature in this book, and this one in the newer one. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying it so far. I've only read like 20 pages, but I'm excited to read more. As for the wrap-up, I am kind of disappointed because I wanted to make more bracelets before the wrap-up. I want to make a little cat out of this. I've got this like multicolored going in for the background. And then I also have this container now in which I store bracelets that are for the wrap-up, because I find that I tend to forget what bracelets I made during which month. So I bought a container to keep track of what I made throughout this month. Thank you. Always when I'm filming, never when I'm not. Okay, finally, shut up. So, these are some of the bracelets for the wrap-up, which will probably come up before this video, so I'll just leave that linked in the card in the description if you want to watch it. But yeah, these are the bracelets from this month. I went on a bit of an alpha kick, as you can see. I'll talk more about it in my wrap-up. But the rest of the bracelets in here, this one I haven't taken a picture of, so it's in here. But the rest of them here, I want to make a video basically describing my alpha progression. Why is this in here? Did I finish this recently? I don't think so. I don't know why that's in there. Yeah, basically I want to make a video describing how my alphas progressed throughout the years, because I am finally now in a place where I'm happy with them, because they're pretty straight and even. But yeah, that's a whole different video, not for today. Alright, so it's been a couple of days, and to give you a general idea of how much time has passed, this is what the candle looks like now. It's basically, I've edited all the footage that I have so far, and the video's already come to 13 minutes, and I'm nowhere near the end of completing the generator. So I think I'm gonna leave this vlog right about here, just give you a quick update of what it looks like now, and then maybe make a second or even third part if you guys are interested in seeing me work this through to the end. So this is how the generator looks like at the moment, pretty much the same as when we left it off. But now, when you add one string, it does that! Ooh! And then when you add another one, it goes back to normal. So the logic of adding one string is working, and it is actually drawing that one string now, and the knots for that one string. The problem is that the rest of the knots, even though they are clickable, for some reason this first string is taking all of the coordinates of the other ones, and the other ones are getting assigned incorrectly. So I need to figure out how to get that working, but that will be in another part. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. You don't normally see me with my hair up, but it's kind of hot in London, so that's what I'm wearing today. Let me know what you think of these more chill, sort of laid back vlog type of videos. I quite enjoy making them, though I must admit they're a bit hard to film because I sometimes just forget to pick up the camera. But if you guys like them, I'll definitely do more of them. I usually do them about bracelets, but since I'm working on the generator, I thought I'd do one about that. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Feels a bit weird doing my usual outro speech in a vlog, but nonetheless, I want to give a thank you to my patrons whose names are going to appear on screen. It is with their support that I am able to run this channel and do things like make a pattern generator for you guys. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.